This podcast is proudly part of the Paranormality Radio Network. Visit paranormalityradio.com to find binge-worthy podcasts dedicated to all things paranormal and creepy. From conspiracy to cryptid, you'll find it here.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to I Have a Strange Story podcast. Hey, I had to hold my microphone now.
There you go. You look like you're about to bust out a song.
Or I have a really important news story to share today. Coming to you live from Austin, Texas. People aren't wearing masks, and it's really fucking shit up.
Listen, this year on Halloween, it's on a fucking Saturday. I think there's a fucking full moon. It's supposed to be amazing. If we're not out of this by Halloween, heads are going to roll. All the witches
I can go ahead.
Are going
I can
to
tell you right now.
hex everybody.
We aren't going to be out of this.
Oh, I know.
Not going to fucking happen yet. It's not going to be over.
I know.
It's not going to be over. Our lives are over. This is the beginning of the apocalypse. I think it is.
I mean, at least in America.
Yeah, this is it. We're over. It's doomsday. I don't give a fuck either. Let it all. I don't fucking care.
Just let it all out, Lindsey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get, if anybody is a schoolie out there, if y'all have schoolies is what they're called. That's what you call a bus that you transform into a home. Mm-hmm. Let me know, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to live in a bus. I'm going to transform a bus into my house, and I'm going to travel the U.S.
I can't wait to see that.
I'm excited. They're really cool. I've been watching a lot of videos on it.
That's cool.
You see my shirt?
Yeah. It looks
My
good.
name is Lindsey. This is the podcast where two sisters retell people strange and paranormal stories and experiences.
Hi, I'm Rebekah. And if you're listening to this and you want to watch it, you can find us on YouTube, where you can see Lindsey's shirt and you can see her holding her microphone up to her face.
Yeah, this is our shirt. Mm-hmm. It says, "Skinwalkers, the more you know, the more they know you know." Mm-hmm. And this is designed by Rebekah herself.
Yeah, I did that. And we're going to segue that into an announcement. So.
Announcement, y'all.
I mean, before I go on, did you have anything else to say except for wear a fucking mask? Because you're.
Wear a goddamn mask.
Wear a goddamn mask.
Yeah, if anybody has any tips for me, if anybody's selling their bus, let me know. But I don't think did I have any other announcements, or that was it?
No, I just remember you saying you wanted to tell everybody to wear a mask.
Yeah, wear a mask.
Wear a mask, everybody.
Thank you.
So I have an idea, you guys. So for the month of August, we would like to raise some monies for the National Black Justice Coalition. All the money that we earn on our Anchor ad is going to go towards this fundraiser event. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we get with Anchor. We get 1 penny every time somebody listens to that ad. So essentially, every time somebody listens to our episode, we get 1 penny. And we've never really wanted to put in a whole lot of sponsors because or offer a Patreon, because we've always wanted this to be for everybody, basically. And also, we don't have time to do any extra content.
I mean, we have had people knocking on our doors wanting
basically
us.
Just begging to give us their money.
And we've been like, no,
we're not
today.
This is for free.
No.
Okay, that's never happened, but that is our dream. So we just want to make this a super easy fundraiser, and the easiest way to do it is just to listen to the show. So if you've already heard all of our episodes, please share them with your friends and family. Just play our show, without listening, maybe just overnight, just have it on repeat or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you want to make a donation, you can go to our Anchor page and donate however much you want. By the end of August, we're going to be donating all of it to the National Black Justice Coalition. And I just wanted to talk to you about what this organization does. They are a civil rights organization dedicated to Black empowerment of Black, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and same-loving people, including people living with HIV and AIDS. And their mission is to end racism, homophobia, and LGBTQ plus SGL bias and stigma. So right now, we have $134.49.
That's from the pennies. It's from the pennies of people listening.
That's from all of y'all listening. Yes.
So that's like 1,300 listens. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. And we're on episode 86?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, get the fuck out of here. We're amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
We're going to be millionaires.
Yeah. So with, if this sounds like that's something that you guys would like to donate to, do it on your own. That's totally fine. If you want to do it in the name of I Have a Strange Story podcast, all you got to do is listen. You can donate to our Anchor page. And you can buy our t-shirts, which Lindsey is wearing right now with a cat in front of them. But they have a skinwalker on them. They say the more you know, the more they know that you know. Something like that. I can't even remember. Something that Lindsey said.
I read it earlier. This is the girls. We have girl fit and we have guy cut.
Yeah.
And the girl cut is what I have it on an extra small right now. And that's usually what I wear. And I think it fits fine.
Yeah.
I'm 5'1", like 110 pounds. And the extra small fits. I mean, it's, I could probably wear a small too.
Yeah.
But the extra small fits fine too. But I'm just trying to give you guys gauge an idea of what it could look like on you.
Yes. So they're $15 each, and everything that we raise from selling the t-shirts will go to this organization, and that's for the whole month of August. However, if you want to buy a t-shirt now, just in case we run out of sizes, you're welcome to that. We'll just wait until August to donate it. Also, if you are a podcast out there and you would like to donate an episode, we can put it in during the week or so with our Anchor ad. By the end of August, we'll take all of the episodes off so that we're not getting any money from your show, but it's just for the month of August. So that's another way that you can donate if you're a podcast out there, just to get an extra penny for every extra listen. So anyways... that's the only announcement I have. I might try to make some more merch, but I will probably do it on like Redbubble or something like that, and that will come out either later this month or maybe in August. So yeah, that's it. And Lindsey, I'm happy to see you again. I feel like we haven't done this in forever. We have.
It feels like we haven't. I know.
Yeah, we've done a lot of interviews and it's been fun. So I'm glad to have you back here. I'm drinking wine tonight. Lindsey's got a cat in her lap.
Yes,
all's right in the world.
I had a shot of whiskey to calm down because I had a little bit of a meltdown earlier.
That's fair.
I'm under a lot of stress.
You guys, I'm serious. If you want, in order for this podcast to run, you're going to have to wear a fucking mask, because that's what Lindsey is dealing with right now. Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
Well, also keep in mind I'm in Texas, and Texas reopened. And Texas opened everything back up, and now the governor has put into effect that you have to wear a fucking mask. But for a few weeks, people didn't have to wear masks in public. And the Texas is number one. We have the most amount of fucking cases, and it is a nightmare. And depending on where you go in Texas, some people just still don't wear masks. They don't fucking care, and everybody's wearing them wrong. You have to cover your nose. Don't fucking pull them down.
Please don't do that. That's dumb.
And think about all the doctors and nurses who have to wear masks for like 16-hour surgeries. Like, you can fucking deal with. I'm sorry, I'm being ugly.
It's okay. No, I mean, I can relate. I've been a veterinary technician where I've been in very complex, like long ass procedures, and you have to wear a mask. You can't fucking touch your face either during these procedures. I worked in human colonoscopy clinics where I've had to wear a mask for procedures, and you wear a mask all fucking day. You guys, you can do this. We can do this.
Yes.
And I know I'm preaching to the choir because I feel like all of our listeners are really smart and awesome. So tell your friends and family.
Yeah, they're not the ones who aren't wearing masks.
Tell the stranger in misery. Okay, I think that we've got the message across.
Anyways, so I actually have some research, and I found a story for today. I know we didn't think that we were going to have one, but I think we do. Mm-hmm. So I learned about this alleged thing that happens in forests where there's staircases in the middle of a forest. Mm-hmm. And so my partner watches a ton of stuff on YouTube that are like scary stories. And this is one of them that came up, and I was like, the fuck, I've never heard of this. This is so cool. And so it was something that I jotted down that I knew I wanted to do research on. And so just staircases in the middle of woods. They can look like any, I mean, they can be made of wood. They can be really, really old, or they're really brand new and they look like they were just built. They can be metal and be like spiral staircases. But these staircases are in the middle of the woods. And a lot of people who talk about them are people who are with search and rescue teams. And so they're going like really deep into these forests, into mountains to go rescue people who have gone missing. Usually it's people who have been camping and somebody disappears or whatever. So a lot of the stories come from people who are on these search and rescue teams. And one person in particular who I saw on YouTube had talked about, he was training for search and rescue. They went out in the woods and they found the staircase, and he was like, holy fuck, it's a staircase. That's weird. And all of his peers were like, don't fucking climb it. Whatever you do, don't climb it. And they acted real mysterious about it. Like they wouldn't explain to him why he couldn't climb the stairs. It's just an unspoken thing. You don't fucking climb the stairs. You leave them alone. I mean, but we're talking like 120 miles into state forests or parks or whatever. You know, they're really deep in there. And especially to find a newly built staircase, how the fuck did it get in there? Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Maybe they had a little schoolie bus. Anyways, okay. So they're also found all over the world. A lot of the reports are from the U.S., but they're also found in Portugal, Brazil, Germany, Norway, and the Philippines. So they're found in all other places too. Like I said, they look like normal stairs. Some are weathered. And the stairs lead to nowhere. It's just a fucking staircase. There's nothing up top, nothing on bottom. There's usually never a platform. It's just stairs. People are always told not to go near them. They're not even supposed to step on them. And some people talk about whenever they're around these stairs, they either feel an overwhelming sense of, I shouldn't be here, I don't belong here, I need to get away from this area, I feel very unsafe. But some people feel very drawn to the stairs, and they have this natural desire to want to climb up the stairs and not leave them. They're very intrigued by them. So it's kind of like a, what's it called, where you're over here, you're over here? It's an extreme. It's a dichotomy. You want it or you don't want it, right? There's usually no in the middle. So there's a couple of theories about the stairs. Well, first of all, some people say it's not real at all. So if you go on Reddit, you can find stories on No Sleep. So No Sleep is where people write stories. They're fiction. And they're usually, you know, scary in nature because you can't sleep because they're so scary. And so there are some stories about stairs on the No Sleep Reddit subreddit. But then there's also some places on Reddit where they have it and it's not from No Sleep and it's real stories. And the majority of those stories are from people from the search and rescue teams. So the other theories about it is that these could possibly be staircases that were built during the gold rush. And that these are staircases that were just left behind, and it's the only part of a structure that survived from that time. It doesn't explain a lot of the staircases, though. It doesn't explain the spiral metal cases, and it doesn't explain the cases that look brand new. Right. So that doesn't really explain everything. Some people think it's a little more sinister, and that it's what's referred to as like a pulpit for a preacher. Like it's a staircase that perhaps a preacher climbs to the top of, and everybody surrounds the staircase and they preach, and that maybe it's something a little more dark or sinister that's happening on the staircases. Other people think it's a gateway to another dimension. Some people argue that when you get to the top of the staircase, you can enter another dimension, but other people say it's more when you go down, what it's going to lead you down into. Or it's a gateway to hell, is another theory.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair.
Let's see here. So I did find a story on Reddit about somebody who, are you laughing at my cat?
Yeah,
Look at her.
I know. She's such a
Hey,
ham.
look at us. She's a nightmare. Okay, this is Lily. Wilson is no longer in my household. If y'all were wondering where that little egghead is, he's with his parents. And now there's Lily, who's not as vocal, but she'll make her appearances. Either way, this story is about a grandson who went into the forest with his grandfather, and they were specifically looking for a staircase. So they split up. They each had their phones. They'd heard about the staircases. They were interested in them. They were also hunting, I think, but they were taking some time away from hunting to look for these staircases. So they went looking on their own. He wandered around for what seemed like hours. And then he said he looked down at his phone because he wanted to choose another song to listen to. He looked down at his phone, looked up, and he said all of a sudden it was completely dark outside. Like the sun was just gone, time was gone. He didn't understand. It's like it had been sucked away. And he said that when he looked up, he was at the bottom of a staircase. And he was like, holy shit. Like, of course, I'm at the bottom of a staircase. So he immediately calls his grandfather on the phone. And he's like, hey, I found the staircase. This is crazy. Like, get over here. And his grandfather's like, yeah, I'm coming. And his grandfather was like, quit yelling because you're going to scare everything. Like, quit yelling. I'm on my way. Then he said a few other things, but he was so excited about the staircase that he didn't listen. So he looks at the staircase and he's like, fuck yeah. And he's like, I'm going to climb this staircase. He's very drawn to it. So he steps on the staircase and he says one of the first things that he notices is that the staircase is completely clean. There's no dirt, there's no leaves, there's no twigs. They're in the middle of a forest and there's nothing on it. So he steps on the staircase and he immediately hears his grandfather scream. And it's an awful scream, like bloody murder. It's like he's been attacked. And he almost doesn't want to get off the stairs. He thinks, I want to keep climbing these stairs because I want to see what's at the top. But what goes through his mind is, if I don't get off the stairs and help my grandfather, my family is going to be very upset with me. So he was like, fine. He got off the stairs and he ran to where his grandfather was screaming. And his grandfather was gripping his toes. He didn't have a shoe on. And he was gripping his toes, screaming. And he got down there and he was like, what did you do? Like, did a coyote get you? Like, he's thinking a coyote bit his foot. Maybe he stepped on a bear trap or something like that. And his grandfather unclutches his toes and you can see blood just coming through his socks. So he pulls the sock off and all of his toenails are gone. And he said to his grandson, you climbed the stairs, didn't you? And he said, bad shit happens when you climb those stairs. He said, I told you on the phone, do not step on the stairs, but you didn't listen to me. He was like, oh shit, that's what you said. I didn't hear you. So he had climbed the stairs. So he said that eventually his grandfather adjusted to no longer having toenails. But like, that's the story of somebody climbing the stairs and what the outcome was. Some of the search and rescue people kind of talk about the same thing, is that you're not supposed to climb the stairs. And whenever they climbed the stairs, at one point, someone was like, it's over. We're never going to find the person. Let's just pack up and leave. And the team packed up and left because somebody had stepped on the staircase.
What?
And they were like, nothing good can happen of it. Yeah. But apparently, allegedly, search and rescue teams are all aware of these staircases. They all think that they're evil, and that nobody should step on them. I shouldn't say evil, but they're all very wary of them. And you're not supposed to have anything to do with them. You're just supposed to act like they don't exist. And you're supposed to leave the area if you're around staircases. You're not supposed to explore them if they're deep in the woods.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this.
I hadn't either.
I don't know if anybody else has ran into staircases. I know I have never ran into staircases. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool.
That is very cool. I remember you telling me about this like just a little while ago, and I had never heard of it before either, so I read a little bit about it. Like,
yeah.
Do you have theories on this? Just
so I honestly think that it could be something more sadistic. Like it could be where or not even sadistic, but maybe religious, where people go to preach deep in the woods, something like that. That's actually what I think it is. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a portal because I think that the stairs are man-made. And I don't think that men can build a portal because we're dumb. So I think it's human made, and I think it maybe has a devious purpose. Mm-hmm. That's what I think it is.
Okay.
And so that maybe could be that if you step on it, bad things happen because maybe they're cursed. Maybe humans put a curse on it or something for, something bad to happen if you step on their property or something like that. I'm not sure. But so I heard about it through YouTube, which I think is pretty cool because I just recently found out that there was something called channels on YouTube and you could watch all these different things. And so there's this one, storyteller that we watch where I learned about it, but it's cool. I think that that's useful, but also it made me think of, I know I've talked about this before, how I fucking hate reading. I don't do it. So instead I read books through Audible. Mm-hmm. And so listening to YouTube was making me think of that. And I was going to go on Audible to see if I could find a book because there's a ton of books about stairs in the woods and it's kind of linked to the missing 411. And so and I've talked about it on the show, how I've used Audible before and it's perfect because you can listen to Audible when you're in the shower. You can listen to it in the car. You can listen to it before you're going to bed. I have all Amazon stuff, like a Fire TV. I have those little dot things. What are those called? Where you Alexa. I have Alexa. Mm-hmm. And so usually I'll just say Alexa, read, whatever book it is. And it takes off right where you left off, which is fucking cool because I hate having to figure out where I was and going back and reading, and it just takes off and it keeps reading to you. And so, I don't know. I've read several books that way. I read a lot of books when I was recovering from my divorce that way. And then I read a couple of other that were really enjoyable whenever I was working out. I would listen to there was one called Under the Banner of Heaven. Which is about Mormonism and then also a murder that took place by fundamental Mormons. So anyways, Audible's cool. You can download it for free if you want to. And I think you can get a 30-day free trial and you can listen to any books you want. It's unlimited. It's pretty fucking cool. And then you get a subscription and you can get so many books a month with it. I think I used to get 4. I kind of quit reading, but I'm going to pick it back up because I'm going to start using Audible again because YouTube reminded me how fucking cool it is. But anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent. That's my story. I hate reading. I love Audible because it helps me read better. And I'm going to get some books on staircases because I just want more information on it. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of information online.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick up a book on it.
Cool. And Audible has more than just book titles. They offer podcasts, guided wellness programs, and exclusive originals you won't find anywhere else. Visit audibletrial.com/strange story to get your free trial today. Well,
yeah,
that was, that's incredible. I love this thing that you and I had never heard about before. Staircases.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dude, I have more because I learned about more through watching YouTube. I have more shit that we've never talked about that I've banked, and I'm doing all the research for those things for us to have on one of our next few shows. So staircases is first.
That's cool. So I'm going to tell you some of my theories about the staircase, and these are just off of the top of my head. So you don't believe it's a portal, and I can kind of get behind that because I feel if you're going to have a portal, why have stairs? That is what a riff in time space or in reality. So why do you need something physical to go up there? So what I'm wondering, bad shit happens whenever you step on a staircase in the woods. They're found in the fucking middle of nowhere, like deep, like off of the path too, right?
Yeah.
So they're just an anomaly in the middle of the forest that either pioneers or colonialists tried to build. But in that case too, like why isn't the rest of the house there?
Right.
What if these are staircases to a UFO?
Oh, okay.
And that's why people go missing. And
because they climbed them.
Because they climbed them and they went into their spaceship.
Okay. I like it.
That's totally out there and totally woo-woo. Like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any rationale at all, but that's the only thing that I can think of. The function is to lure people in. This is a luring device. You're either lured in or you want to stay away. And I feel like there are certain people out there who are prone to being abducted. And I don't want to say prone, but like their whole life they have had weird shit happen to them. And so probably because of, or maybe because of alien abductions. So like this is a lure to those people to be like, we're going to need to see you right now walk up these steps. And then those people walk up the steps. They have, like you said, they have a weird time loss. Time loss, we know, is a symptom of alien abduction.
And it also goes along with the stairs.
Yes.
People have time loss with stairs too.
Yes.
I could see that.
I just got a message. Okay, I'm good. We're good. I thought that this stopped recording, but it didn't. We're fine.
You know, this reminds me of too. I don't know if you or anybody else has been watching the new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix.
I have not yet.
Fucking reboot, dude. It's fucking good. Number one, except, well, I watched it. Never mind. I can't say it. I can't say it on the podcast. Either way, okay. It's a little dramatic sometimes, like very heavily directed sometimes. The last few episodes, I thought. Other than that, it's really good. But also, while I was watching it, I felt pretty good because there's, of course, an episode about alien abduction, right? And there was a point where the people who had these experiences spoke to nobody believing them and them being kind of chastised. And I was like, that's the purpose still of our show. You know what I mean? Like for people to not be alone and for their story to be out there and be supported. And because we believe every story we get. Like if that's your experience, it's your fucking experience. Like we're not going to question it. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting that, I don't know. Anyways, patting us on the back.
We're a really good show. We're very supportive of you.
We really care about
just
people.
your little paranormal besties. We're gonna listen. We're gonna drink our wine. We're gonna say yes, yes, yes.
And we have just two white girls just doing our thing with red lipstick.
I can't wear lipstick, but anyways. So yeah, cool. Well, do you have anything else that you want to add to that?
No, I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that's all.
Okay, that's good. My dog's making a lot of noise. I'm sorry, you guys.
I heard her. I saw her. She was licking her.
Yeah, she was
herself.
licking herself. Just a PSA. You're probably maybe going to see a lot of my dog from now on. I can't lock her out anymore. She has a brain tumor and she has seizures, so I got to keep an eye on her. Sad. We're going to move on. So Lindsey and I kind of both did something a little bit different. So I don't have a paranormal experience either, but I do have a listener request. So Lindsey did some research about mermaids, And our friend and listener Charlie was like, hey guys, have you heard of Selkies? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I've heard of Selkies. They're fucking cool. And you haven't heard of Selkies. And I've never heard of it. Yeah, they're so cool, but I can guarantee you've seen a movie about Selkies before. So shout out to Charlie for this recommendation. It's so cool. I'm so glad that you gave this to us. But also on that side note, like, if you have a paranormal experience, please send it to us because we need them. We need them. This is the way that our show functions. So please, I mean, it's cool to do these every once in a while, just as as our own thing. But we love to hear your experiences. We love to talk about them. We love to hear them. So please, just send them to us. So I'm going to talk about Selkies today, and Selkies are part of Scottish mythology. And this is a mythological being that is capable of changing from seal to human by shedding its skin.
It's very much like a mermaid already. You've already got me convinced.
In fact, Selkies actually mean seal. Are you okay?
My light went off, so I look ugly.
That's weird. It's like, okay, Lindsay's got some paranormal shit happening to her.
Ew. Did anything else? All right, keep going.
Okay, everything. I know. Okay, we're good. Okay, so Selkies mean seal, and I think that in Scottish it's like Selkies folk. I didn't write it down, so I can't remember, but it basically just means like seal people or sea people. The basis of the tales are typically around female Selkies, as being like, oh shit, I did this wrong. As being coerced into a relationship with a man by someone, the man, stealing and hiding the seal skin. So whenever Selkies, and it's different. It's a lot of folklore behind when they can come out of the sea. So sometimes it's like every 9 days. Sometimes it's just on the full moon. Sometimes it's whenever the fuck they want. They can come out of the ocean. They shed their skin. They become female, and they are the most gorgeous females that anybody has ever seen. And a man sees them, they're captivated by their beauty, and so they steal their skin, and they're like, "You're gonna come live with me now and bear my children."
No.
It's a very sad mythological creature when it comes to the human aspect of it. So, the captive women may have children with the men. And they may become like in love with the man eventually. Sounds like an abusive relationship to me. But they may, what is that? Munchausen syndrome? Is that whenever? No.
I think you mean like Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome. Yes.
Where you start to identify with your captor. Yeah.
Exactly. So they may eventually have a relationship with their partner. They may have children eventually, but they always long for the ocean. Like that's where they want to be more than anything else. There's also male Selkies, and the male Selkies are very handsome in human form. They have great seductive powers over human women or mortal women. I don't know if they're immortal actually. But this is what they do. They're like, they're the unhappy one, female, like bestie. So they seek out women that are dissatisfied in their lives, such as a marriage. And the story goes, it's that they're usually these women that are dissatisfied with their fisherman husbands. So the fishermen are always out. They're never paying attention to them. So these Selkies are like, girl, I got you. And there's a tale of a woman, I think, named Ursula of Orkney. And when she wished to make contact with a Selkie, she would cry 7 tears into the sea. The Selkie would come. They'd probably do it. and then then he would go home. So it was a good relationship, like,
Okay.
in a way. I mean, not,
Okay.
you know, she's upset. She gets what she wants. He gets to leave. You know, I mean, I don't know if they had an open relationship or not, like her and her husband.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Who knows? But I mean, she wasn't happy, and he said, "I got you. I'm going to make you happy." I don't really know if they did it or not. I'm embellishing that part.
I assumed, yeah.
I assumed, yeah. But not all lonely women want to have sex. I'm going to throw that out there. Sometimes they just need companionship. And maybe this is what the male Selkie did. I don't know. I'm digging myself into a hole.
We don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
Yeah.
So the cool thing, too, is there's a lot of theories of origins of where the Selkie came from. In reality, these guys were possibly inspired by, like, real people, such as explorers who wore heavy furs and visited these islands in Scotland. But then also kind of the paranormal aspect, people believed that seals, in particular, are reincarnations of people lost at sea, or they are humans trapped in the form of the seal. So there's also a biblical view about seals in particular. Seals apparently are angels who fell from heaven and landed in the sea. And on a side note, angels who fell from heaven and landed on the land became fairies. So I think that's kind of cool. But what's weird...
That's crazy.
It is crazy. What's interesting, though, is and this is a total side tangent, like Christian angels, I think we see them as these... just these kind, like, loving beings.
Yeah.
And whenever you think of fairies, in my opinion, you kind of think of tricksters, you know.
Yeah, they're usually mean.
Well, maybe not necessarily mean, but they just have their different, like, yes, they can take your child away, have a changeling, like, make kids into changelings and shit like that. So to think that angels could be possibly tricksters, I think is pretty interesting. But also to say that, like, angels that fell from heaven and landed in the sea became seals. Seals are playful. They're social. That is a different take, in my opinion, on angels, unless they just completely change, like, personality and whatever as soon as they hit the earth. That's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down, but I think that was pretty cool. There is Swedish folklore that links Selkies to the story of the pursuit of Moses and the Jews by the Pharaoh across the Red Sea. So Pharaoh and his men were drowned by a huge wave, and then they became seals, and the seal bark is said to be an echo calling Pharaoh. I can't believe how much folklore there is just surrounding seals. I think that's really cool.
I had no idea.
I didn't either. Plus, they're fucking adorable.
They are.
They're so cute.
They roll down hills.
Yeah, they do. Like, they are the most ungraceful animal on land ever.
Yeah.
They're so weird. Like, why do they even get to come up on shore? I don't get it. They're just completely designed. They're designed for sea. They're designed for swimming.
Yeah.
How do they? I don't know.
And then they get on land and they're just like drunk.
And they like
blobs.
Yeah, their back rolls. Their back fat rolls, and that's how they climb up. They're so weird. Yeah.
Just spin.
Yeah. So I love all this folklore around seals. I think it's amazing. What I love too is that these afterlife stories kind of gave comfort, I think, to people who lost family members at sea. So in Scotland and that whole area, there's a lot of fishermen. That is one of their jobs that they do is to bring in fish. So for a fisherman to be lost at sea or drown or whatever, and you don't have a body to bury or to mourn, this is an opportunity or maybe some kind of closure to say, okay, they're seal people now. So now they're living in the ocean with people, and that's just what happened to them. So that, I think, that is kind of a comfort. Another Christian suggestion, though, is that seal people were meant to represent those in purgatory caught between two worlds. And that is an interesting way to look at it too. If
it's hell, being you're in hell if you're a little seal.
No, you're stuck in purgatory. So
I'm sorry. Well,
yeah. So you're caught between. So I don't know exactly how purgatory works, but I think you're not in heaven, you're not in hell, you're just caught.
I think it's supposed to be a bad experience.
I think it is too. But I think that maybe in this kind of situation, like living in the ocean doesn't sound so bad, right?
Yeah, I know. And being a little seal that like claps.
Yeah. If you could either go to heaven or hell or purgatory and be a seal, and if you can clap, what would you prefer?
You get fish thrown in your mouth and you roll down hills,
and
become a star on YouTube.
Sure.
Like, yeah, it sounds
sure. Like, if you're a captive seal, probably not a wild seal does that. Yeah. So that's all pretty cool about seals. Selkies are also just thought to be very gentle and kind, which is a different type of cryptid. There's not a whole lot of these shapeshifters or creatures that aren't out for malicious or malevolent intent. Like these guys, they're just living their best lives. And there's not a whole lot of service that they're doing for humans or taking away from humans. To me, Selkies kind of represent just another form of life that's just trying to live their best life. Like they're just trying to live on this planet for no other reason but to hang out and have fun. So Selkies, because of their kind and gentle demeanor, they're said to make great wives. Very obedient and subservient, which is disgusting.
That's what a good wife is made out of.
That's what a good wife is. Yeah, don't let anybody tell you anything different. Yeah, so they're supposed to make good wives, after a man takes their skin and basically takes away all their freedom, then what else are they supposed to do? It is said that the Selkie, like I said, is so beautiful that no man can resist them, and they will steal their skin to make them their wives at whatever cost. So this is kind of where this story gets dark, and it seems like especially for Selkie women. So I'm going to just tell a story about this. This is the most common story that you're going to hear about Selkies. This story is about a fisherman who finds a group of women laying naked on the rocks. I've also read this story where these women are dancing naked in the moonlight, but whatever.
Okay.
They're naked. He discovers the women, and he startles them somehow. It's either stepping on something and they look and they see him, and these women take off running, scared for their lives. So these women jump into the sea, they grab their skins, they turn into seals, except one woman is so frantic, it's so scared, she leaves her skin, and he grabs that skin. And he says, basically, you're mine. Like somehow he knows. This woman follows the man, begging and pleading to please give back her skin. And he says no. He takes it, he puts it in a trunk, he hides it to where she can never find it. And so she becomes his wife. They have children. They, years and years down the road, she is constantly just looking for her skin so that she can go back to the ocean. In some stories, it says that she actually had a husband who was a Selkie. Yeah. And so one day, the children find her skin, and they're so excited, and they show her this skin, and they're like, look, Mom, look what we find. And she is so happy to find it, that they found it. She takes it from them, and she's like, she tells them her story. She's like, I am a Selkie. I'm from the sea. That's where I belong. And this is the last time that you're going to see me. And so that night, while her husband's asleep, she slips back into her skin. She goes into the ocean. She says goodbye to her children. And she says, by the way, you can still hear me because you are part Selkie. So if you hear somebody singing at sea, that's me singing. And so that's what happens. She gets her skin. She leaves. She's never seen again by her children or her husband, but her children can still hear her singing. So it always kind of happens that this is the story for Selkie women, is that they're captured, but then they ultimately want to return to the sea. There's this longing, there's this depression about them, that they are not free, that they are captors, or they are prisoners. Taken against their will. So the fate of female Selkies mirror that of the women of the culture which was created for them. So they leave their own environment of the sea to live in an alien setting under the control and sexual domination of a husband. Only when she finds her own form again can the female Selkie be free.
It's just like an abusive relationship. Like, it's a metaphor for an abusive relationship.
That's exactly where I was going.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I'm glad that you saw that too, because these cryptids, or these creatures, like I said earlier, are the exact opposite of any female cryptid that we have ever heard of. So mermaids, sirens, whatever, they are luring creatures. They lure men to their death, and they, that's their thing. They get off on that. Selkies are kind. They're gentle. In a way, they embody kind of what men prey on, in a way. Like, we always like to think that men love strong female characters, or they love strong female women, but like, if you look at even pornography or whatever, it's always a woman who's like, not, I don't want to say trying to get away, but like maybe trying to like cover up or act like, whatever. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that about pornography, but it is kind of like that. They're like, oh my God, you caught me in the shower.
Yeah, it just depends on the type. Don't even get me started.
I'm not going to get you started. I don't give a fuck about porn. Like, if you watch it or whatever, or if anybody watches it, that's fine. It's fantasy. It's whatever. But this is kind of like real life women who, I can't say that about every one of them, but this is what men prey on: gentleness and whatever. And if they don't meet that expectation, that's kind of whenever the abuse comes in for misogynistic men, right? Like, so I'm going to take your freedom, which is this, and I'm going to imprison you on this land, which is this. I held up my hand. It's the skin of the Selkie, and that can represent anything to a woman. It could represent money. It could represent a career. It could represent children or child-free life. It can represent anything. But the fact that, it's this man taking away her ability to leave, and in order to leave, to get her freedom, she needs to take that back. And that's however you can identify with that. The person who took away the skin, is disregarding the pleas, the begging, the depression, they're turning a blind eye to all of this. You can see, your wife looking off in the distance and being like, I want to be somewhere else. And instead of thinking about her feelings, you're just like, well, you're stuck with me now because we all, and we have kids. So, yeah. So to me, this is a cautionary tale of gaslighting in the modern day and abuse. So. Yeah. So just,
I would agree.
mm-hmm. I mean, this story took a dark turn in my opinion. Like, I think that we think about Selkies or maybe some other type of stories like Beauty and the Beast, and it's just like you were forced into this situation to some degree. And it's not a fairy tale where everybody ends up happy in the end. I mean, eventually she does get her freedom, but that's with a cost of her life. So just kind of a message to me about this is like, be a female Selkie if you're in this situation. Get your freedom back however you can. Take your skin back. Go jump into the ocean and leave it all behind. And don't look back. Yeah. And that's the other thing about Selkies too, is that they don't go back. Even if they have kids. And I'm not saying leave your kids.
Yeah.
But get out of that fucking shitty situation with whoever is holding your skin. And I wanted to address male Selkies too, because male Selkies are said to be very kind and compassionate, just like I said. Their relationships are usually more fair to a degree, where neither of them. So the woman who is asking for a relationship with the male Selkie is not taking anything from him. He still has all of his freedom. And isn't that interesting? Isn't that kind of the thing too? Yeah. So not in every relationship where you're having an affair or whatever. Like, that's not the deal. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that he gets his freedom while not and not holding anything over his head either.
Right.
So there's that. Thank you, Charlie, for sending me down this hole of of relationships, but I appreciate it. So I put in here, wow, the male Selkie is even known to be helpful in raising children. So there's a tale too where he takes, where he and a human woman have children. He comes back in like 12 months. He's like, I want to share, this child's people with him. So please let me take him back into the sea. And so they go into the sea and everything's all cool. Like,
oh, that's so nice.
It is so nice. It's different. Let's see. So, a couple of things about Selkies. They were thought to kind of like give people weird birth defects. I guess weird isn't a very nice word, but just to give birth defects. So like flipper fin, scaly skin, a seal-like face. That has all been debunked, of course. This is all stuff that could possibly happen, just depending on your genetics and stuff like that. But then also the one fallback from Selkies that do impact people, and this is the only thing, is that if you're a pregnant woman, they're like, don't go near the seals because they can give your unborn children, these weird birth defects. They have the gift of foresight, so they can see into the future, but they don't have any magical abilities to do anything about it. So they can tell your future, but they can't tell you how to change it.
Okay.
And that's about it with Selkies.
Well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure
that's
there's
pretty
more,
cool.
but we're running out of tape over here, so
we are. That's what I was going to tell you. I can't even think, but I can't even think of a movie that I've seen with.
You have, because I have a list of movies here too. So there is the Song of the Sea, which I've seen and I fucking love. It's beautiful. It's animated, and it is about the journey of a little girl who is kind of called to the sea because her mom is a Selkie. Classic story of the Selkie.
Okay.
You have seen The Secret of the Roan Inish. This is a movie that was in 1994. It's about a young girl that goes to it was in Ireland. They changed it. I think it was supposed to be a Scottish tale, but it was in Ireland. And she is told the tale, I think, how her brother was taken from the Selkies. Taken by the Selkies. You have seen it. It's an old movie. It's been a very long time. So so that's a great movie to watch. Song of the Sea, The Secret of Roan Inish. I'm sorry, I always get that wrong. there's a couple of more movies that I haven't seen, but if you want to check them out, there's one called The Selkie. There's one called The Selkie's Lover, and then there's one called Ondine. And this one looks good. This one was, I think, done in like 2014, but it's supposed to have a really good plot and also talk about kind of abuse in relationships and stuff like that. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. So check those movies out. If you see them, tell us how they are. Thank you again, Charlie, for giving us this suggestion. I really loved it. I learned a lot more about Selkies than I knew, and I already knew. So yeah. That's cool.
If anybody has a story they would like for us to read, we're always looking for them. So please send them to ihaveastrangestorypodcast@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to read those stories.
Yes. And subscribe, rate, and review us. If you do those things, please give us a nice review. Take a snapshot of it and email it to us with your physical mailing address, and we will mail you some stickers. Shout out to our friends from Spain and Australia. That's so cool. Yeah.
Look at us.
Look at us. We got international.
You want to buy a shirt?
Yeah, if you want to buy a shirt.
This is what they look like.
Yeah, send us a message. It's got a skinwalker on it. Be on the lookout maybe for some more merch. Maybe this time we'll put our name on the stuff so that, you know, who knows. If you're a podcast and you would like to donate a episode to us, get in touch with us. And also, I'll probably be sending out an email to my podcast friends. Thanks. And is that it?
I mean, that's it.
We haven't done this together in a while, so I'm a little lost. Be nice to each other.
I think we
wear a mask.
Oh yeah, and yes. And I think here is where we say bye.
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 Bye.